Gilly has done almost everything.
Yes.
Both in film and theater and locally, internationally. And Gilly, ajukujuekea. That brother just talks.
Just gives.
Kanga theater, and the guy would just go on about his trips to New York in Broadway. And me, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, wow.
You
know, he sounds like a grandfather.
Yes. Alafu mwone akiact is a totally different person. Like, Gilly, that's you.
You know, so I would learn a lot from Gilly. We would just sit at the National Theatre. For me, I would finish my shughlis at around 11 KMT, but I would leave there at around 6 or 7 in the evening.
Welcome to the last episode of our first season of Sanaa Wasanii, and today we have our actor extraordinaire, director, stuntman, nini ufanyangi? Talent manager,
makeup ndo
ufanyangi, kila kitu ingine unaweza fanya.
Yes.
Karibu sana. This is Peter Kawa, and this is Sanaa Wasanii, a podcast that highlights and celebrates artists in their own right. And I think you deserve to be here because you are an inspiration.
Thank you.
And we've seen your work, we've seen your winnings, we've seen where you've come from. And there's one tweet I saw in 2019. And it was a manengi acting industry.
Yes.
And I am going to conquer it if it kills me.
Yes.
And I think you've done pretty well the last 5 years,
Thank
so
you.
to speak. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
So tell us, how did you begin? How did you begin? Like when you started primary school or when you went to school, did you want to become an actor? Or do you want to be this visible? Ama ulikuwa tu ule mtu wa kujificha alafu because you discovered your talent probably in high school? Or what happened to you? Tell us.
History inakuanga tu hivi. Mkiwa maboys, mkiwa wadogo, you go and watch those movies in kibandas.
Zile za five bob.
Za five bob. Tukishazimewatch kwa kina Rambo, kina Van Damme do their thing. Tukimaliza tuna step nje pia tunaanza kidogo.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, you be interested kuanza kujaribu. Apart from just the fight scenes, mtaka pia mwanza kusema vile anaisema.
Sindio.
You killed my mother. I kill you.
But
so sometimes you'd want to start doing such, even in acting in terms of performances.
yes.
But so nikiingia primo, I think I didn't do much of that, especially at advance. But in high school, we didn't do anything at all until Form 3.
Music festival,
Nothing. I was never the outgoing type. I am an introvert of sorts.
You?
Ambivert then.
Okay. Okay, I will take it.
In high school, I never used to be the outgoing type. People would go for debates and me, I would hear people watu wanapanda basi sijui enda kwa shule gani sijui girls school. Me, I'm like, novel,
Masomo.
chini ya mti, kusoma, ama kwenda kulala. I was a lazy student.
Oh.
I used to sleep a lot.
Did you pass at least? Were you an average student?
Yes, I was an average student. I passed somehow.
The laziness paid off.
Kind. Even when girls would come to our school, takawa ni nani?
Natoroka.
Niko chini ya mti.
Hey.
I used to be that guy.
Aye, nice guy. Okay.
However, now, in Form 3, someone just said, Kawa unaona kakierere fulani. I think hebu ingia ufanye kaplay fulani. And I did. I was the main character. And I actually won my first award at my first attempt.
Wow.
Yes.
So your kiherero ulikuwa umeficha wapi?
I don't know.
And who was the person who spotted that kiherehere? Because there's someone who has to spark that interest in you.
A funny thing, there's a friend of mine whom I'm working with right now. I will introduce him to you at some point.
Yes, please.
With Sanaa Academy. He's a techie right now. That guy tuliingia naye high school pamoja. So they were fully into the drama fest, the music festival. I was not. But he always insisted, Kawa, hii kitu hebu jaribu ikuje itumie. So he was part of the leadership ya drama fest in high school. So akani absorb.
Nice.
Nikafanya, and I won that award. And they were like, yo, bro, you have it in you.
Kiherehere.
Yes. So that year, when they left me behind wakaniachesa the drama club.
Oh.
Then I became now the chairperson.
Chairman of the drama club.
Which I was forced again. I didn't want to buy, but I just went to the election and people were like, we are not voting.
You won. That's it.
Oh yeah, hapo ndio love ya drama na nini. So we even went for the next year, the Form 4, we did something. Kamaliza. Now come high school, Kampo. I want to join. I was very good with fine art.
Okay.
Drawing, painting, all these things.
Fine arts, Buruburu Fine Arts, School of Fine Arts.
That is the exact school I wanted to go to.
Bas,
my dad in Inan. Kufanya nini? That is not a marketable career. fikiria lawyer, daktari,
Sindio?
accounting,
Engineer.
engineer. You know, I had always wanted to be a lawyer because I'm very good with that. My heart usually calls me towards advocacy and standing for people and, you know, lobbying for causes. So I wanted to be a lawyer, but my marks could not allow me. But then he was like, you know what? Computer is going to be the way. The world is going digital with time. And this is in 2004.
Wow.
2003 actually.
Such insight.
So my dad aliona mbele akaniambia the future is going towards, so I think you need to go to Campo and to do something in relation with computers, information management, and that is what I started. But nimeka kwa class, it looks good so far. When I introduce you to, you know, my laptop, my nini,
my technology.
and then by the time nafika mali now there is computer, then there is information.
Yes.
Now information also has to be packaged. So that means we're starting to look at math and accounts and financials, and I'm like, I am done.
Lazima sasa imekuja technical aspect sasa.
I was like, no, that's not the life I want. So I went and applied for an audition somewhere. As I had wanted to be an actor, and everyone I bumped into, can I be an actor? And then again, I'm flying into a job. So I go and bump into this job. He sees me, I auditioned for him. Kidogo is like, I like you. But at the moment, there is no opportunity. I'm like,
haya, turudi huko kwa hesabu.
Nikakaa nikangoja na moja alipigi simu. Nikarudi tena shule. Sasa I started doing now, I added an extra course, networking.
Okay. There was a course called networking.
Within now.
Oh, IT. Okay.
Yes,
I'm like,
IT. So yeah, I added it up. I did my exams. The lecturers used to love me very much. Then unfortunately, I failed by 2 points.
Oh, no.
And he was like, no, you're my best student. And I was with Kevo actually. The guy who...
The high school person.
Yes. Because I found him there. And then he's the one who actually helped me enroll again into the same college. She was a classmate.
Okay.
So again, we were chap kwa machine. So the lecturer was like, can you receive this to whatever? Can I give you an opportunity to receive them on a Monday? Jobs calls me and tells me an opportunity has been found.
What are the odds?
So what are the odds? No, we actually did traveling theater.
Wait. So what are your job? My
first show was in hizo areas are Nandi Hill. That's shule called Chenilis Girls.
When?
It was on a Sunday.
How long did you do traveling theater for? So your job ilienda tu hiyo?
If the exams.
The exams.
Ilienda hivyo.
So kumaliza shule?
17 years down the line. That is a 5 years.
Been on that. Sawa.
Yes.
So traveling theater.
So traveling theater, I think I just enjoyed myself. Ilikuwa ni kuji-express. And then, you know, with traveling theater, you were given within one set book, you're doing so many roles at the same time.
Yes.
So that also helped me, you know, hone my different styles of acting. So you would go for like 2 months, 1.5 months without never ever coming back.
Gani?
Merchant of Venice.
Nilifanya.
Mimi mzee sana. I literally turned 40 yesterday.
Oh, congratulations. Oh my God. Happy birthday.
Yesterday I turned 39. I'm now in my journey towards 40.
40.
Yeah. So actually Merchant of Venice was being introduced in 2006. So 2005 will come one of the people.
Yes. Exactly.
So those are the books I did.
Wow.
Yes.
So and then after the traveling theater, what interested you in the traveling theater to begin with? Was there money? There's the traveling and then there's the cramming of how many characters of lines got 70 za kila mtu. Everyone has to portray their own character. So how did you decide, oh, okay, I guess happy-go-lucky, let's ride?
First of all, it was the only opportunity available by then. Because had I nianza kuringa, I'm like, just traveling theater. Nitarudi naringa. Nianza kufanya accounting then, and I didn't want that.
Exactly.
So whatever was available for me, I took it.
Okay.
And I ran with it. Again, the beauty of it of traveling theater is traveling.
Yeah.
Because me, there is no place I've not been to Northeastern peke yake. Mimi say, ukiniingiza Central, uniingize Eastern, mimi ni mwenyeji. Coast, I had gone to Rift Valley. Rift Valley, there's no place I never went to.
So all the schools mulienda ku act,
Yes.
Were you looking at the money at this point? Am I right now? You're just looking at the experience?
It was very necessary. The money was very necessary because, again, remember, my parents were insisting that I go to school. And then here I am, dropping out of school after wasting all these monies, only for me to leave school and not getting my certificate.
And how long have you waited to get your certificate? And then it's only 2 points. 2 points to the end.
Yes. So I needed to prove to my parents that I made the right choice. So every time I would get monies, I would literally, and this is not a joke, I would bring like 80% of what I've earned to my mom.
Proof of
Shika mom, jibambe na kafanya shopping. Or I would even actually do shopping myself. Kuja na masukari hapo na mikate na mabluba na ambia mom, and kuna pesa ya juu imebaki. Then I would just remain with less, maybe 500 bob ya fare.
Ulikuwa need kuprove point wache ufanye kazi yako venye uko
And you see, I'm still proving that point 17 years down the line.
You are.
I'm still trying. They appreciate so far. They appreciate what I'm doing. Because I won't lie, I think I'm a bit of a success right now.
Yeah.
As I am. And my parents right now, they look at me and they're like, it's a good thing that you made that. You took that route. Because you're happy. You don't look forced in whatever you do. You don't look like, unalazimisho, but you're enjoying yourself. And there is a lot of success coming up. So I still feel like apart from just my parents, there are other parents out there whose kids they would want to come and venture into our industry.
Yes.
But the parents do not approve.
Yes.
So my mission right now as I speak is to ensure that I can prove to other parents the way I did to my parents that to bring your kids into the industry. Kuna njaa definitely, but there's a proper way of doing it, and there's a way of actually being a success.
Is that why you have your kid in the screens now? To prove a point to the parents. But your kid looks like she likes the art itself.
That one is she's a talented one.
Yeah.
I have been keeping her in the back since for quite a while.
What?
I had
unamficha. Like you're like when?
Pia industry tu pia si atu ya kuingiza tu.
Kujangi ovyo.
Because watu I do a lot of research and I have watched a lot of interviews and case scenarios in Hollywood especially. Child stars do not hawaishangi vizuri.
Na
hawakuangi poa. Because sometimes it's not even about them, but the pressure of a kid, putting them into usiva hivi, uko na schedule every morning,
uko na watu wazima
around you. You are not allowed to become a kid.
True.
You can't, huwezi jikojolea.
Huwezi.
You're
not allowed to play.
Children.
Yeah, you can't be a child.
Huwezi fanya children things.
Really.
So me, I'm like, I see, and me, I will go all over the place. Justin Bieber, anatoka Bieber Mali. Justin Bieber. That
boy. Man.
There's a song I've been hearing, but I never really sat down and listened to it. There's a time juzi nilikaa chini kaisikiza vizuri sana. It's called Lonely. I'm so
I've heard it.
I listened to that song and that's when I realized this boy is literally talking about his career as a young man. I mean, as a baby, the way he started off, he talks about how much he's not allowed to be himself as a kid and he's being treated like a grown-up. He's not allowed to do mistakes to a point where every morning he wakes up, when he looks around, he doesn't see friends and family, he sees colleagues. Even his parents are not there to look at him as their
son, child,
but they're looking at him as a client.
Like, well, let a pesa kwanza
unafaa kwa interview fulani sahi. And I'm like, but mom, I want to go and play. So me, I look at all these things and I look at the kina MJs and the kina whoever's and I'm like, no, I don't want this to happen to my baby.
We can't have that happen, particularly if you're in the industry.
So but lo and behold, 2021 happens, I want to shoot my first kids film.
Christmas love.
Yes, I still don't consider her because, again, I don't want her to be part of the process. Yes. So I have this big scene where kids are doing the Christmas carol thingy on stage.
Yes.
So I make sure I put her in the back scene. So one of the angels in the crowd sits. Then when I'm shooting the film on day one, I have not shot a scene. The kid that I had chosen, a little girl, very beautiful little thing, and I was going for cute.
Mm-hmm.
She the character you'll look and you'll go like, oh, I felt like I had not really prepared her very well. So come the day of the shoot, I tell her to go for the first scene. She froze because she just looked around and she's seeing what was Zimo amemwangalia and she just froze.
Unajua rehearsals zitakwanga wewe na yeye kwa meza. And you're like, no, talk like this.
Wait. And anafanya zote. Ako na lines na nini, and then she has her sister there, a small sister.
How she thought it was going to be a group effort.
Nikamweka pale kwa scene.
Out.
Wait, alionatoa watu wote and she froze. I'm like, haya, action.
Nothing.
Akaniangalia kidogo tu. Action. Ameniangalia. Na akaanza kufanya. Nikaambia kidogo, tukonge. Bado akakata. And then machozi kaanza. That's when
You're like hapa Bangori, hapa Kinetics. Nothing is coming.
And then you've booked a hall,
You have cameras.
25K per day.
Crew.
Uko na watu almost 70 crew and cast.
Extras na kila
Yes,
mtu.
extra, because I needed to fill the audience side.
Yes.
And the kids wamejeza kwa stage cut 20 of them. Then the crew.
You can't have a retake.
Ni saa sita already.
So, okay, feel your headache. Guy.
I have about 9 scenes to shoot in that location.
Na lazima ziishe kwa sababu kuna
And I'm
25
dealing with kids. So nilikuwa naambiwa kama unaweza waachilia by saa 8 saa 9 wapumzike. Na ni saa 6 already na shoot scene.
Hujaanza hata moja. Oh my God.
That's when I was like, wait, what do I go for? So I went for her sister. But then her sister, I didn't feel like she had what I needed because she looked mature a bit because I was still looking for cute.
Mhm.
I was like, wait, sini kuna mtoto wangu hapa.
Hey.
Where kuja hapa? And I talked a bit and she was like, okay, let me try.
Nice.
And then I went and took her to Urban
Mhm.
and I left them for 5 minutes. I came back. Those people
Nice.
had bonded so much. I was like, yeah.
I guess.
And Urban akaniambia,
I guess.
I put her on the scene, so she did not read the script, she didn't know what the film is about, but I just took her scene by scene. So the first scene I explained to her, and lo and behold, long story short, my girl did so well that I can remember we never went past 2 takes.
Are you
Every
serious?
scene, yes.
Wow.
Actually, the first scene that we shot with her was the only
Was the
take.
take?
Was the take.
Was the print take?
Was the print take. Hey, crew walishikanare walinchapa mabare kugongo, wewe unatusumbua hapa
Umetufanya tushinde hapa siku mzima.
mzima gani? Project gani? Huko pana talent hapa.
Wow.
And that is how we are now with
That's how Neema became.
That is how
superstar.
Neema became, yes. Twice nominated at the
Nice.
WIFA.
Oh, wow. By the way, si hata hii
Yes.
mwaka alikuwa nominated.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Tulikuwa na huko tukifinyana kwa infra.
Yes.
Got nominated. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how do you maintain that inaitwaje relationship with your kid, making sure that she's your kid, yes,
Mhm.
but pia kuna hii like there's work, but then again there's also life where you need to be a child and
After that, we've not
From
really
that.
done anything. After Christmas Love, the best we've done is just interviews, awards, But she's not been able to get, I've not really gotten her any other job.
okay.
Because again, even within that time, it really affected high school. Because in the interview and then mwalimu unaenda kumwomba ruhusa, wiki mbili you're like, hapana we, kaa shule umalize kwanza.
Maliza kwanza alafu.
She's very sharp. And but still me, I feel like wacha amalize shule kwanza. Or maybe ako advanced kiasi in school.
She's probably way smarter than I.
Oh, yes, she is.
Ama pelekwe ya class 4 and then challenge them. Hey, by the way.
She's a smart one.
Yeah.
So even for Christmas Love, the relationship for us was pretty. She loves me as a father, but she has the audacity to call me an old man. So
There's
sisi ni maboys.
there's that playfulness as well.
Yes,
Oh,
sisi ni
that's-
maboys. So she does not aniogopi when she hears that I'm a director or whatever, something like that.
do you want to manage children in future, like now that you're a talent manager?
Hey, kids, Joe. Hey, I am not sure I have the patience.
Kwa sababu the industry needs kids
Yeah.
talent, kwa sababu watu hizi kwa tunaishi kuona Baraka advertisements zote.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That kid has been in all adverts tangu kwa mdofo hivi mpaka
Mpaka
kwa
sasa
mzima.
hivi mtu
We've
mzima.
seen him grow in the industry. So how do you encourage parents to let their kids act? Or if you have a kid who's interested in doing this particular kind of work,
Mm.
how do you walk them into it when they're interested? Because I have nieces who are like, but my mom says I need to study and blah, blah, blah. But I know on holiday I can actually spare 2 days to act. So I'm
Yeah.
like, how do you balance that?
What I know is, as my management company, Spearhead Entertainment, I am working towards capacity building and just adding people to my team
Mhm.
so that I can delegate as much as possible.
Okay.
At the moment, I may be the manager for all the people that I manage, but at some point I will be overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed as we speak right now. So I am trying to bring in many people who can help me now take over those responsibilities. So that mimi nikamseka huko juu.
Nasema tu
But otherwise, mi nasijua tu kazi inafanyika huko chini. Huko tuko ile
Na unaweza act
penthouse huko ndio.
unaweza act bado.
Yes.
Indulge in your...
So I'm working on that. So in as much as even I myself, I know very well I'm not very good with kids. I want to see if I can recruit people within my company who can actually be the ones the agents to handle the kids.
to handle the kids.
Even musicians will time.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I feel like the kids, there's so much talent, but we don't know how to maneuver because we're afraid of exploiting them, number one.
Yes.
Number two, we don't have proper laws on how to protect children
Protect children on set.
on set.
Yes.
So right now, the parents are at a loss. Unajua content creation, yes, there's cash, but
Yes.
how is my kid going to be protected mentally, physically, everything in between?
Actually, speaking of which, I am a member of the Kenyan Actors Guild, and I've been there since 2014.
Yes.
Now, the Kenyan Actors Guild has a document that has welfare, takes care of all its members, and even kids have a category.
Category, yeah.
Where now, in the event that a kid is on set, they can actually be offered a chaperone.
Yes.
If not the parent themselves,
Someone
a chaperone
else.
within the Kenyan Actors Guild to come and actually be with them. And ensure that there are stipulated laws, how many hours they need to
They
be on
can
set,
work.
at what point do they get rest,
Yes.
how many scenes they can do per day,
Yes.
and stuff like that. So I think we need a body that can actually, instead of not just a management company, but even just a body in
body
general.
that-
Because SAG is there in the US,
Yes.
and it takes care of such. In as much as management will do that, but there's a major union
Yes.
that takes care of that. So the Kenyan Actors Guild is working on something towards that.
They had better work fast because parents they want to capitalize on the content creation, but they
Yes.
don't know how to go about it.
Mhm.
So back to our story. How did you break from the traveling theater into the main arena now?
Mr. zangu zitakuwa tu mrefu.
Ni sawa.
Yeah.
Ndio maana kuna podcast. See interview.
I'm doing traveling theater. There's something to it. People watching performances are like, yo, bro, I love the subtlety in the way you perform. You're too powerful, but this subtle nature in which you perform, and you're like, I don't think traveling theater is your place. Like, have you heard of Jicho 4? There's another company that does state books, but in Nairobi. It's your traveling theater. They felt like, the beauty about traveling theater is it is so amorphous. The set, unajua mna rehearse. You have mlango ya kitchen, you pale, but when you go to traveling theater,
Hakuna kitu. Mlango inasonga kila saa.
Wama mtenda shule ingine coast iko na milango ka 15. You have to identify. So it teaches you to be creative. But at the end of the day, still, it doesn't have structure. Then they were like, go to the National Theatre. You'll find sets zishatengenezwa kila kitu. They will be standard. And then the National Theatre there's acoustics.
Yes.
Is the backstage.
Yes.
Professional way of doing things. They are like, go try that. It was like, ender. So actually, in 2007, I quit traveling theatre, and now I went to work with Jicho 4 at the National Theatre.
Oh, wow.
And again, I made a big impact, and the guys were like, who's this guy? Because the Merchant of Venice, ilikuwa imefanywa mara mob sana at the National Theatre, and Gilbert Lukani was their guy. Everyone knew Gilbert Lukani was the best, Shylock ever.
Yes.
And then Olwenya also, the late, God rest his soul, he was number 2 as the Shylocks. And then this one day, Gilly does not make it for the show.
Now it's you.
And they were like, so Olwenya, wakasema wacha ashikilie sijui role gani, then mimi nishikilie Shylock. I was like, me can do it. Hey. That was the beginning of great thing.
Nice.
The guys were like, who's this new guy? He has such, whatever, there's a presence.
Kuna je ne sais quoi.
Sex. That word. So that's why I started. And from there now, guys would approach me and like, hey, what's your name? My name is Peter Kawa. And I never lost an opportunity to network and tell people who I am and what it is that I'd want to achieve. Tukikutana naye, sasa mimi nitaka sana kwa TV. So ukiona tu chance yote na hizi role zangu mu active na hivi na hivi na hivi.
When did you get the confidence to say that? Because remember, bado ulipokuwa kwa chini ya maji.
No, I think I had to break out with time. Somewhere along the way during traveling theater, I think I started finding myself and being, outward and expressing myself.
Did it take you long to find who you are in the traveling theater? Ama nili kufanya huo? Kakupiga na buto ambapo sema, oh, by the way.
Okay. All I know is that every time you sit with someone and they give you a positive whatever about who you are and what you're able to do, you start embracing it with time, you start understanding, oh, by the way, mpaka unafika mahali sasa unatembea ukiwa an open book.
Kweli.
This is who I am and this is what I'm capable of doing.
So people's affirmations actually strengthen
your... to date. So mpaka time bado, you have to look at some people, mtu anakwambia, do you know who I'm like? Do you know how
No.
Yes. Until yesterday. That's another story for you.
What happened yesterday?
Yes. Nimegrow kama that humble guy. Sitakangi attention on me and
humble man.
najaribu.
Big shot.
That big shot. Everyone says me as a big shot.
Yo,
Me, I don't know how to become myself as a big shot.
that's okay.
Me, I'm that guy. Mimi nitatembea na tishu yangu nimefika kwa barabara na crocs zangu tao. Guys are like, une mzee, and I'm like, yeah.
You don't want your life to be interfered with. Or unataka life yako endelee tu vizuri hata kama
You know.
work hard.
Until yesterday on my birthday, when now guys were just giving me compliments of what I've been able to achieve, not just for myself, but even for them. That's when I started understanding the impact that I've had in this industry and in people's lives.
Yes.
So for this year, as I'm now going into 40, I want to start embracing that one myself. That in this year, I'm like, yep,
Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
And you absorb it, relish
How
it.
far can we go?
Yes.
You know, so in traveling, I think affirmations was nilifungua sana, go outward and going to now to actually start reaching out to people and telling them who I am and what I am capable of doing and looking forward to more opportunities to become.
How did you do research to get to how good you are? Kwa sababu we don't have as many actors who are as good as you are and as versatile as you are.
Thank you. Research.
Ulidecide unaingia kwa hii industry na utafanya kila kitu, anything and everything that is meant for this industry to happen.
Book and try and experience.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling theatre.
Yes.
National theatre.
Yes.
I used to live in Njeri, Marish.
Mm-hmm.
So going to the National Theatre, tulikuwa tunatembea ama tunashukia pale Mudhurwa, because gari zilikuwa zinashukia Mudhurwa, then tunapiga Kalesa. Inside Mudhurwa, there are people who used to sell books. I still think
They do.
more
Zile zimepangwa hivi mzee.
20 books.
Bus.
Hata zile was like a point.
Yeah.
So me, I used to go there and actually just go through the books. Most of the books that I was looking for were film related or theatre related. So even right now when you go to my bookshelf,
Film, theatre, directing.
books zimejazwa ukienda unapata za film theatre. And for me, I had always admired how Broadway and the West End, how they do their thing, because you look at their sets and you're like, how will we as Kenyans get there? So I look at our performances, the set, ni kitu kipuliza hivi inaweza anguka. Rangi zikipigwa hivi.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it can be better. The only play that once ever came and I felt like, wow. There's a Jungu who was doing that tour for Africa. It's a Christian film with Kaizo. It was about mtu sijui anakosea, then anadai, then anaenda mbinguni, anaambiwa sijui kuna shetani hapa, then anaanza kwa mboneki yake vile aliishi.
Hiyo ni movie fulani ya TCM and you're turn into
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you go into the hall and then they black out. When the show begins, it begins with lights. Ding, ding, ding. You actually realize it's a staircase that goes all.
Unapanda.
You know, Kenti, how it has that kaholu
Yes.
with you. That thing went all the way back with you. I was like, dang.
Hizi ndo vitu zinaweza fanyiwa huko, zinaweza fanyiwa KNT.
One built a whole staircase that goes to heaven and it lights with every step that you go up. And then there was a big pulpit somewhere and then there was an angel. They cast some big dark guy. Akona mawingu zingine and I was like, yeah.
This one.
This is what we should be doing. So, and I think if there's anyone whom I've seen loyal to that is Stuart Nash in his plays, like in Seraphina's, like in whatever. He's done that. And I wish most of us would actually, but then again, it depends with resources. Share that. So how did I begin? It's for me, the love. I had a template of what I would want the theater to be like. And I had a template of the books I had read. I would go and watch plays on YouTube and the likes. Long story short, to date, and I think I have even applied the research even in film, that I go on YouTube and I go and look for behind the scenes of films. And I either download the stuff or,
watch, take notes.
Exactly.
Surely.
So I started off with one hard disk. Right now, the speak, I have about 8 full hard disks.
Is that one to download?
Vitu download, or maybe I'll just go and borrow from friends. But umesikiza movie to Schindler's List. Umesikia movie la, hivyo. And then I just go and watch it. Then I go look for the behind the scenes. The beauty of it now, there's Wi-Fi. Nowadays, I don't have to download anything.
You can just watch it anywhere.
Just sit and just watch. Every time I watch a film, I go to BTS and just watch how it was made. Avatar. Lord of the Rings, all these things. And Kenyan, I wish pia tungekuwa na hizo. So that when I'm watching Swahili Journey, I'd love to see how it was made behind the scenes.
All right, cool. We're trying to make something like that.
Tahamaki.
You know?
How was Tahamaki made? One of the best shows we ever had on TV.
How was it edited?
How was it?
You know, I don't know.
Those stories.
I want to see. We want to see.
Because Ben-Hur was shot back in the 60s, 70s in Hollywood, and we still have BTS of it.
So why don't we have our own?
Why don't we have our own?
It's at KBC, I'm sure.
Lakini ukajua
digitize kwanza zimerushwa huko, so zitafute another year,
Yes.
another year of digitizing.
Yeah, exactly.
Then another year.
But if you find the value in it,
You will do it.
you will do it. If you know that it is gold once it is digitized, then you'd be like, oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Nipe wiki moja. Na mtafuta nazipanga, hey, digitization ndio hii.
KBC, they're laying on gold.
There's a lot of gold in KBC. Yes.
Because they stacks to the tapes.
I hope mmetusikia. KBC.
By the way.
Do your thing, Joe.
By the way.
Yeah.
Do us justice. Sindio?
Yes.
Yeah. So, now that you're in the main industry, what was your first film cameo? Ulingiaje sasa kwa TV?
For screen.
When was your first? Pia ulifika kwa tauka freeze like the kid. What happened to you?
No, I did not freeze, but I think I overacted. That much I know.
Will you ever deliver?
Kuja pale. In TV.
Is it theater?
Turn down kidogo. Okay. Oh, is that so? And for me, the beauty of it, every time someone calls me to the side and tells me, it's kama ni mimi mwogopa ama inaniaibisha to a point where I wouldn't want it to happen to me again. So I go and do research now to start understanding how TV is acted. So my first role was on Mkutano Junction.
Okay.
Sound. So Mkutano Junction I was supposed to, a cop. Someone had seen me on stage and I was very powerful, big, and for modeling character. So they were like, sana. So they cast me for that. Mwadulo. Bro, there's some things up on the kanga. So when they cast me for that role, I went and did it. I was supposed to be a bad guy, a cop, mwenye wanashika, prostitutes from the streets, and then they go and molest them in the cells. So yeah, that's why I also met Gatonye. And
Bogiot.
Yes, Bogiot, those same old guys. So the first scene we were supposed to round them up in the streets. So a Land Rover in the street, and then mashuka chini, and they were first take Niketo can buy. Because even Janet Kirina was one of the girls, actually the girl that my character was molesting. Ile style nilibeberesha nikamkuta kwa hiyo kitu.
Karibu hapo so.
Nikakuja nikambo hiyo. This is TV, everything is just subtle. Hata kama unambeba, angles zitadanganya kuonyesha you're being laughed.
Kuna fujo bahali.
Hey, but I literally lifted up and so yeah, that was my first whatever opportunity, and I think I learned a lot from that. I was told it down. So my next gig was an advert for Taifa Leo, and again, the most interesting way I got it. Tumetoka tu pale KNT nimemaliza piga show and I don't know where to go. Tumekaa tu pale juu the story.
Pale sana huko juu.
Actually tulikuwa chini by then.
Oh, okay.
Pale kwa stairs. So we just seated and then we see Jalas na nani na Otos. Walikuwa wamekaa mbali kwa zile mapage zao. Kwa ile round tree. So they were like, hey, wase, kuna audition hapa. Then we came and looked at his phone. There was an audition there, blah, blah, blah. Wakasema, so tujaribuni. So I went there. And when I'm auditioning, I see the role that I've taken. Okay, for God. Fellow, Jalas. So me, I'm like, I was 20 something by then. And I'm like, but the role they're looking for is 35. Nikamwambia mimi siwezi fine. Mimi si 35. Jalas akaniambia watch mshinga. It is the look. It is not the age.
You
look like you can do the role.
So
that's why I went for it and I actually got it.
You're like, oh, okay. Nice.
Nilipo pesa mzuri, I was like, okay, so industry kupa ina pesa.
Kuri Makutano Junction umepewa ni?
Tusitaje, lakini let's just say I was treated well.
Uli survive.
I was treated well and I was paid well.
Oh, fantastic. Very good. Very good. Well, that's a good thing. Because right now, when they start acting, man, say you're paid peanuts or nothing at all.
Yes. So mimi siwezi sema maybe kama niligongwa sijui, but at that time for me, it was good money. Alafu leo narudisha kwa madho namwambia mama,
ndio hiyo.
It's getting better by the day.
Wacha tutamax kwingine ndakushow.
Exactly.
So what's the difference between theater acting and film acting? Because now I feel like you had to learn the difference.
Yes.
Na lazima pull back na unajiambia, okay, we're in theater today, I have to act this way. We're in film today, I have to tone it down this way. So how did you learn that? How did you get a balance to balance that?
If you're a versatile actor, and the beauty of being in traveling theater, it teaches you all that. Because when you go to Costo and you are operating in a big hall that accommodates over 1,000 students, and like literally 1,000 students sit in that hall, you need to perform not just for this, but all the way uko hivyo. That means you have to shout. You have to broaden your faculties to make sure that everyone sees your performance. And that's what theater is about, right?
Yes.
Now, again, when you go to Phoenix theaters, where you can literally breathe and the audience actually feels you, even a sigh, they feel it. Because their audience was very intimate. So they also teach you to be subtle. So it depends again with different platforms. Again, even different genres of plays that you do. If it's a melodrama, my friend, we go all out. If it's Shakespearean, we go all out. Even in the way we say our words. But if it's very subtle, realistic kind of plays, then...
Where do you learn this? Because apart from books, Kenya unalearn hizi vitu wapi? Where do you get to learn theater acting from? About just School of Hard Knocks, YouTube?
That one, School of Hard Knocks, there's YouTube, there's those books. However, also, this industry does not have a shortage of people who've been there and they're willing to share.
That's the thing.
Right?
But where do you find them?
Where do you find them? The question is, how do you present yourself to show that you're interested? Because many of us would want to. Many of even that generation in your graduate, they would want to. All they needed was that big-eyed guy who just comes in and say, please, teach me. So I bumped into one phenomenal guy, Gilbert Lucalia.
Gilbert is an amazing.
I love that bugger to the... Gilly. And anajua. He knows my weakness. I love Gilly because Gilly has done almost everything.
Yes.
Both in film and theater and locally, internationally. And Gilly, ajukujuekea. That brother just talks.
Just
gives. He look Kanga theater and the guy would just go on about his trips to New York in Broadway. And me, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, wow.
He
sounds like a grandfather.
Yes. Alafu mwone akiact is a totally different person. Like, Gilly, that's you.
So I would learn a lot from Gilly. We would just sit at the National Theatre. For me, I would finish my shughlis at around 11 KNT, but I would leave there at around 6 or 7 in the evening. Well, given sometimes he would 70% of it would be just about himself. The guy is very egocentric and he knows, he prides himself in that. And I love that about him. He knows himself. But in as much as he says that, you pick so much from him. And that for me is when now I started learning, you know what? Just show the next person that you're interested in knowing about what they know.
Yes.
And they will feed you in return. So I think maybe the challenge I can give now, and see young ones who are coming up. Don't be afraid to bump into someone who's already been there and ask them, so how did you do it?
Yeah.
How has your experience been? And genuinely show that you want to learn. And you will realize there are very many people who are just willing to. They're just happy to tell you their experience.
They're just shy. You're just shy to ask or shy to just come out and say, I don't know this, show me.
Just ask it. Ask it, no utajipata. You will feed a lot of from many people.
That's the reason I actually started this podcast, so that I can have an easy access to know where can I find Peter Kawa. Enda kwa hii podcast from me. And there.
Exactly.
Because I didn't have, before I entered this industry, I didn't have anyone to look up to. I just stumbled and found myself where I'm at today with the help of very many people, stepped on very many toes.
Yes.
But we're here now. So yeah, most of the kids nowadays are very shy to approach people already who've gone through it and are on the other side. Because I think you're on the other side of the industry.
Hopefully.
Apart from that, your only suffering is raising funds for the film. That is your only problem.
Yeah.
Ushaget. Nini ushaget. Enough sasa kwa.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know.
Thank you.
All right. So what was the most interesting project that you worked on thus far? You as an actor.
I always love that question.
Which one stood out to you? Ni gani challenge to your maximum? What challenged you to the end? Baka you're like, in fact, but they carry as a car. Umejaifika hiyo point.
Imefika.
Lazima ifike kwa industry.
Imefika. Allow me to mention too.
Yes, please.
The first one was literally the first role that I ever got that had a name and had longevity in the series. Sumu la Penzi. Right?
Yes. Gilly was a madman in that one.
Oh, Sumu la Penzi for me stood out because the role that I was given, that I auditioned for, was supposed to be a pig. Right? Oh, Kawa is a good chat guy. I was actually literally 3 months into marriage.
Way. So you're fresh. You got fresh.
Well, what is the thing to do?
As you end up
Exactly. But me, I was like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Me, I was willing to challenge myself to see that other side of who I am as a person and how far I can take it.
Had you always played roles that were safe to you before this particular point?
No, safe would be, yes.
They
safe,
don't push you over the edge like,
because I
let's
used to
say.
be the ruthless, the kingpins, the politicians, the big boss. I used to be that.
Okay.
Because nikiva suti, my friend.
Una change.
Nilikuwa nakaa. That's
Usikuone hivi.
wasn't it easy. But then this one, the challenge now was was even playing ruthless. It had its whatever's, but still playing ruthless is that.
Yes.
But now being a pimp, you literally now having to interact.
Yes.
With the other characters, and now you are.
And your clients as well, and everyone else around that. But
yeah. So I requested, because the writer and the director, they loved me. They were like, "Yo, this is our guy." And then we even consulted on how they want my look to be, to get the makangol, okay, my chains, my bling, nini, and they were like, "Yeah, I feel nice about it now." Okay. So yeah, we had all that, but then I asked for one specific permission, which is a bit limiting. I asked them, "Is it possible that I don't touch anyone inappropriate? Can it be in my contract? Is it possible that I don't get to kiss anyone? Is it possible that I don't do any nude scene?" So I had all these to in the contract.
Clauses.
And they accepted, imagine.
Nice.
They're like, I promised them, I told them, allow me to showcase what I can do. If you want me to be a sleazy and you always kind of
dirty person, yes.
But allow me not to go extra. I said, yeah, let's try it. And I actually pulled it off. I pulled it off. However, now on set, look. Sometimes, you just want to be this Mr. Know-it-all and stuff like that, and looking also, ilikuwa nafika mahali ulikuwa unapangiwa wasichana pale. Yes. Some unachagua wewe na mama mwenye biashara. Wasichana wamevaa vitu.
Hata hujaiona kwa hii dunia.
So unashtuka before you roll cameras. You're like, what? But then when the AD says stand by, I don't know what thing comes
over you.
Me. I swear I would play, and Nia would look them up and down, and if I don't feel you, nakuchunja, and nataka ule. When they say cut, I have to go and apologize to each
and every woman.
Because some of them would come and tell me, Kawa, I swear I saw you undress me with your eyes. I was like, God, I am so sorry.
It was not me. That's good.
That's what I enjoyed about that character. It took me to places that I had never explored about who I am. Remember that cowboy in high school?
Yes. Ule mwenye baji vitoko, watu wakienda funky, watu mademo kikamu.
For me, Sumu la Penzi was that opportunity to actually all out.
Sumu la Penzi was a good script.
Oh, it was a good script. It was done very well by Dorothy.
Mbona iliisha?
I think sasa pia showing out living it time yake.
Like it was just
tafunda ya mjua imeisha sukari ya chana.
Ina ilikatwa tu half. Alafu kabwaji so did tukaleta Inspector Mola.
Sumu la Penzi was the first one. Okay, did I say two? Two. Two. Yes. The other challenging one was the most recent project I've done. It's County 49.
Okay.
Right. County 49.
It's on Netflix, by the way.
Showmax.
Yes. Christmas Love ndiko Netflix.
Christmas Love ndiko Netflix. There's another Netflix one nilifanya internationally in Morocco, a South Korean blockbuster.
Something Mogadishu.
Yes, Escape from Mogadishu.
That one.
It was so what amesema nifanye tu mbindi. Yes.
Nasema tu zote ndakulizia Mogadishu by the way. Meno ulikuwa umeng'oa meno ya ukweli ama ulikuwa
lakini CGI those guys.
Ilikuwa deadly. Manze you look kibogo. Mpaka you had to look at your tooth. Is it there?
Imagine.
Yeah.
So County 49 for me is one of those roles as well. Because County 49 within the shortest time demanded so much of me both physically and emotionally and all those things. So, and for me, I felt like I was ready for it.
You were born ready.
Right? I was born ready.
Yeah, clearly.
I had wanted a role that would actually get me out of my comfort zone, because I had tried comedy with House of Kangwares, really just didn't. Yes, I had the Kanak, but
It didn't tickle me like that.
yes, it didn't tickle me like that. So I wanted something that would actually bring the hero, the good guy character in me. So Couch Fortnite, it came, it had everything that I was just looking for.
Nice.
A husband who's conflicted, a father who's conflicted, a father who wants to protect the people he's conflicted with. And at the same time, he's protecting the small unit. He's also protecting the whole community in the country and the leadership and protecting the stuff. I was like, oh, what? That show.
It stretched you.
What audition? I was given 2 weeks to go to the gym.
Alafu tuachane na nani ulikuwa na trainer? Did they offer a trainer ambayo wewe jisort? Wewe
Nilipanga.
rudi ukiwa umebaf shauri yako.
Because I went for the second audition. The moment was tulishamaliza, director akakuja akakanamia akamwambia, are you ready? Are you ready? I'm like, for what? So apparently you are the one who's going to play that role. I'm like, okay. So just know we are going to break you. We're going to spread you. We are going to hurt you. Are you ready? I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Do you think you're fit? I'm like, yeah. Unasema kwa sababu ndio upate kazi unasema
si ndio mimi naenda gym.
Immediately tulimaliza hiyo jioni nikaanza kutafuta gym hiyo area naishi.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
How much food did you eat? What trainer did you get? Like,
I had a trainer. I joined Maisa. Maisa is Madare, whatever, on Kangundo Road. So I joined that gym. I paid for myself. And I got a personal trainer. Every day.
Nutrition.
My friend Muli.
How many hours?
Yeah.
6, 4. Ama unaenda asubuhi na jioni.
Wananiambia usianze na gear 5. Anza kidogo kidogo. So at the more week tulikuwa tunaendelea, tulikuwa tuna push.
But uko na wiki mbili, so una push lini na hiyo wiki mbili ndo starters.
So ya kwanza so hiyo wiki 2 weeks is enough. 2 weeks is enough to do much.
It can change your life.
Imagine nilifanya hata Morocco pia in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Even in Morocco I had the same challenge. Because the director saw me and is like, you look skinny.
Hey.
And by then I had just finished directing Lost in Time and I was very skinny. Look at my conda. No stress. So I came there and the director launched, but he's looking at me like, Nikawatoka and the idea, make sure he goes and eats. I'm giving him 2 weeks and a gym. So it happened also for County 49.
Yeah.
So for 2 weeks I went to the gym, pole every 6 in the morning, natoka hapo 10. 6:10 every day. Ilikuwa nafika mani naweza sukuma mpaka saa 7 hivi kidogo. Depending. But if you actually watch the first almost 4 episodes of County 49, you can tell this guy is either this is his new walking style or independent.
You're constantly in bed.
Watembe hivi, watu wanausana kautero wangejua.
Unamwona miguu kila pahali,
mgongo. My body was aching. So yeah, I did all those things. Then we didn't really have enough time for fight choreographers.
Yes.
So what we used to do is I would read the script. I would have there's a choreographer called it ayo itwanga nani Maingi. Tonani. Hii jina yako zitakuja tu. Mickey Maingi. He's a stuntsman. He's actually a black belt martial artist.
Oh damn.
Oh, brother, where? Ule mzaneza kunulia mboko kufanya wafo kutope kofi na.
Wacha. Nitamuita hapa kasi ya John. Oh my God.
So yeah, he had these ideas of how let's do this. And the beauty of him enjoying working with me as well, I was willing to go all out. He would be like, I have this idea. And the director would be like, oh, sure. I trust Kawa. He will do it. Alikuwa ananiambia sijui tu roll, sijui tupige sama kwa hilo. I'm like, let's do it.
Wewe tuogope kuumia?
Simiti.
You are not afraid. Your body is already battered, so you might as well.
Yeah, I did things and the way I would, handle the guns. And this guy loved working with me because he was not afraid of coming up with ideas.
And you were not afraid to execute.
I was not afraid of executing. So he dreamt ideas and I would execute them. So during the shoots, now because we didn't really have enough time to, go hide them. Because now it has its own technicality for camera and all.
Yes.
So what we agreed with him and his team, because the people I'm even supposed to fight, Sizi letewa pia watu wanajifunza kama mimi.
Sindio.
It would look bad or we'll spend 3 hours, 5 hours in the same scene. So what does he do? He brings in his own black belt students.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now they spar for real.
Yes. Come to my Instagram. Just look for all the BTS. Right. Nilikuwa naambia nipige.
Unavunja unajua.
Walikuwa wanivunja.
Guy. So how do you recover, or how did you?
I think there's a safe way. In as much as they hit you, there's a safe way. Nilikwambia atainua mguu na kupiga kofi papa na arudishe polepole. So that means hata kiamua kupiga teke ikaini kama amekupiga ugwele, there's a soft way in which
Atakutap.
anakutap.
Alafu wewe sasa
it's for you to send.
Nice.
So yes, so we used to hit each other, but they would find ways of how to safely hit me.
Were you worried for? Okay, I'm sure you have your own personal insurance. However,
I had insurance actually on that thing.
yeah, no, you said they said to get insurance for you guys, because I feel like sometimes on Kenyan sets or our local sets, we are so juakali, or we are so strapped for cash that we can't even afford a first aider or insurance, enough money for the crew. So how did you having insurance give you peace of mind?
I insisted.
Mimi sifanyi shoot unless I get an insurance where if I break my bone, I don't have to die over my bank account is not.
Because just when you were starting to shoot County 49, that is when the Alec Baldwin incident had happened.
Yes.
Right?
Wait.
So mi naamba wako mtoko mnadili na guns za ukweli, I'm like,
it is ukweli, lazima the props.
So mi like, guys, mi need insurance. Kuna mali nimeona sijui kuna msijui ataruka kutoka sijui wapi nini. And they understood. Actually, they were very professional.
Yes.
Sibanda Pictures, they did a good job in terms of just making sure that all the casting was safe. And, even the director himself would go through the guns himself. The AD would go through, the safety guy would go through, and then he would give you to go through.
Then there's protocol.
Yes, anakwambia Kawa jiangalilie.
Sikuja kuniambia
kaka iko sawa, tufanye.
Did they train you on handling guns, or did you have to find your own?
They did. We were even taken to the range and we...
Sabu actors kuizo wamelegea manze, like improving their skills nini, you'll have to be. I'm waiting for the set to take me.
Walienda, well, it was sisi tulipeleka all the same.
Okay.
But they went through the whole hog of training us what exactly they needed. Kama ni guns, tukapeleka mpaka ailea, katupeleka huko tukapapa bad, so that you actually feel the recoil. So that even when you're holding it doesn't look fake.
True.
Yeah. Kuna watu wanashikanga tu bunduki na watu. Hawakai. So we're trained in all that, guns and all that. So even for my own safety, I got insurance.
Yeah, because
I was insured actually in life.
Itabidi kwa sababu there's no way you're giving all of that and then you have no what is called rest and a peace of mind.
Yes.
Because you're wondering, what if something goes wrong and then what happens to me?
Funny thing, many things did go wrong.
Of course, in production.
Out of my own doing sometimes.
Okay.
What
was the scariest thing that you did and you're like, why by the way mchezo?
There's a scene that I had to fight 7 guys.
Yo.
Yes, black belts, and we actually fought for almost a full day.
Uchoka?
Really. So by the time to record na rap, because the previous day again, I had fought another scene where it was hand-to-hand combat with the one mogo. I don't know.
Yes.
So tulienda. Tulipelekana. So I think kuna mali nilipinda shingo vibaya. So I didn't want to tell anyone. Because if the director sees that, he'll want to start plodding down on the fight scenes. Me, I didn't want that. So So that day, Mugo, the same afternoon, I went now to prepare for the 7-day kesho yake for the 7 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we rehearsed that day after Mugo. So tukarehearse, wakanisha ma moves nini, tukafanyiza vitu zote, so boni imeisha. The next day, started to shoot the whole scene. By the time we were done with that scene, and then after that, in fact, alikuwa anifukuza all over town, meaning the guy. So I was running one, kimbiza na babunukini, blah, 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 blah. By the time lunch came, I was literally carried. I couldn't.
Kubit.
Kidogo ilikuwa nilisho kama mtoto mdogo. Because I couldn't, because my body was just
stiff.
Yes. And that made the director, he was like, no, Kawa, we can't keep doing this. And I was like, no, I'm okay.
No,
and
you
I had to stand up and I'm like, yo, guys, tufanye kitu. I was cut so many times on set. There was a place where I'm supposed to hit kiyo ipasuke.
Ukakatwa.
Ilikata. Edia niniona nikibleed nikajificha nikaandusi. Pia nikaoga haraka,
Ukarudi.
director hawajui chochote. So I tried my best just to hide these things so that they don't.
It was brutal. Hiyo
It
fight
was-
ulikuwa unaiona hata tukiona Instagram, you're like, is this fight for real? Is this stage or is this for real?
Then lastly, there was a scene now we had to fight with the main bad guy. It was in a church, the same church I got married in a couple of years back.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
and that one also, tulizienda tulipiga magoti kwa simiti, unapiga mpaka msana nasikia kneecap mfulani, lakini we have sins to go, let's go. Tunavaa kneecaps lakini they are not.
But they're not helping.
They are not.
Padding hata alafu is fake kuonekana njuu along.
Yes. And then the last, so the culmination of that day is when now actually I'm watching Count 49 right now, and I stopped at that scene
You're like, hey,
where now my character saves the governor. Spoiler alert. Saves the governor, and then I have to carry the governor, the hero you are.
yes. Mtoe kwa nichi.
Because even in the script, the newscaster says the disgraced officer Malik Maka saved the governor for the day, and then say picha inaonekana
Redemption.
kwa nini
Kabisa.
kwa stretcher. So yeah, kubeba
Uwe mzai.
hero mzangi. And we did our portrait.
Wow.
What?
Ulilala siku ngapi after set?
Never did.
You woke up and went to work the next day.
Yeah.
And the next day and the next
And the
day.
next day, and the next
When
day.
did you wrap? When did you when did your body just
for 4 months?
did you take a break after? Because they've taken a mental toll on you. You cannot say that you did not.
I can't rest. Apart from an actor, you know that I'm many things. I'm a talent manager, I'm a filmmaker, so I'm always running around.
You pulled back to become a talent manager now after the kwa hivyo vyote for
No, this year I'm doing talent management. I'm not willing to work as actor such
Okay.
until I make sure that my business now as a talent manager is stable. The next year maybe I can consider acting again.